All right, let's talk about framing. What you see behind me here, these wood studs, this is part of the framing of the house. 90% of homes today are using wood because it is one of the most energy efficient materials. It's really easy to work with. You can cut it to any dimension you want. And it's one of the most affordable materials to use when you're building a home, even still today. And why is it important when we talk about framing? Well, your walls actually account for 1/3 of the energy loss in your home. More than windows, more than doors, believe it or not, more than anything else, because it's the largest surface area and it's really easy to solve for that. There's some solves for that energy loss that are easy to adopt. Most homes are built in this kind of standard framing way. Ever since the 20s, this has been the standard framing convention is 16 inches on center. So you'll notice each stud is spaced 16 inches apart. There's a technique called advanced framing, which actually spreads these out to 24 inches. It's not adopted widely. Builders aren't familiar with it. To get it inspected is really difficult. You have to kind of alter a lot of the elements of your house when it comes to design in some cases. And it's just one of those things that the industry is pretty resistant to because they're not used to change. So there's a few things you can do about that. You can actually adapt a lot of techniques from advanced framing that are really easy to do. Number one, when there's a corner built, the traditional way to build a corner is to have each wall meet and just block it in with a bunch of wood. So older homes built, you'll see it blocked in like this. There's really no opportunity to put insulation in there. What you can do when you adopt an advanced framing technique is actually, you'll see my hand go all the way back in here. This is just one piece of wood in the corner. You can pack this with insulation because we've actually built a cavity for that insulation to go into. Same thing can be done when walls come together on the inside of a house. So if you have a wall, traditionally it would be backed all the way up against this exterior. What you can do from advanced framing techniques is build a ladder system in between these and put your new wall up against that ladder so that you can get a bunch of insulation back there. Same thing above your windows and doors. You can pack that with insulation if you actually build it right, instead of putting one solid header all the way across. That can be done on non-load bearing walls really easily. So these are just 3 techniques. These are the main ones I would suggest adopting, but that allows you to pack in way more insulation. And that's really important because insulation is one of the most energy efficient things you can do. When you look at thermoses that have, these kind of new thermoses or Yeti coolers, there's a concept known as thermal bridging, and these are actually counteracting that. So the inside diameter you can see is a lot smaller than the outside because they've actually eliminated that thermal bridge. So when you're using this, you're not feeling the heat as much on the outside or the cool as much when you have ice in here. Same concept goes for your home. When you're looking at these wood studs, energy will be lost and it'll be transferred through this wood stud, similar to how when you grab a hot pan, the handle's hot, energy is going to travel through this stud to the outside. So by doing things like this, where you can pack a bunch of insulation in here, you're reducing that. Number one, that's savings for you. This is a really easy technique. It doesn't cost you much money. It's actually free to do. The only thing you'll pay is maybe a little bit more for the insulation in the corner. So savings immediately. Convenience, you're not going to feel drafts coming into your house. You're not going to hear your heating and cooling system trying to keep up constantly and blowing and just being loud in the background. And you're not going to have mold or anything because you're not going to have as much air going and escaping to the outside, which is the #1 cause of mold or rot. So why wouldn't you do these? These are really easy techniques to adopt and something to talk to your builder about. Savings, the convenience, and last, the impact to the environment. This is going to be really good for energy savings when it comes to burning gas or using electricity. So take this tip, talk to your builder, use some advanced framing techniques to help offset your energy usage and make your home that much better.